Hi and welcome to Reseller News. Today is July 2nd, 2018. My name is Rjpasini. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk to you about a lot of changes going on in e-commerce. For those who are new to this channel, I do the Reseller News, and I also do the Reseller News on weekends now. The purpose of this channel is to enlighten and share with new sellers on eBay, Amazon, or Etsy. I cover those topics. Whenever they become available to me, I make them available to you. I got quite a bit of websites opened up, and I just want to go over a few. I want to go over them. For those who are new, like I said again, I will give you the information as to what website I get the information from, and I do not read everything verbatim, because if I did, we would be here for hours. I get so many alerts with different, stories in regard to eBay or Amazon. I just can't put them in or fit them all in this time slot. It'd be too long. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to bump out of this window here, and I'm going to go up here. Now, as you can see, folks, there are a lot of windows open up here. Okay, I'm going to start over here with Amazon, and then we're going to just go right through them, and then hopefully, we'll end this. We'll end the Reseller News. Let's start with this one over here. The website is recode.net. It says over here, Amazon spent nearly $23 billion on R&D last year, more than any other U.S. company. Any other U.S. company. 10 companies claim that top 5 spots again this year. You're probably wondering, what does this have to do with anything? It's just to throw a little segue out there, how Amazon is spending their money in research and development, and I think in some cases this is how they stay ahead of the game, so to speak, ahead of the pack, as that saying goes. It says over here, really brief, tech companies claim the top 5 spots in the U.S. for research and development spending again last year, investing combined total of $76 billion. Amazon was at the top of the list, spending $22.6 billion in 2017, 41% more than 2016, when it also topped the list. As you can see, as we all know, Amazon is making a foothold in the retail business, or I should say e-commerce world. They're buying up companies left and right. They're making a lot of changes going on over there. There's another thing I think that they're going to get involved with their own. I think they already have their own trucks and their own delivery service, and now they had recently where they're offering to small-time business people who want to get into that line of work, delivery business. I believe you have to invest $10,000 for a lease, I believe. You could read all the information on it there if you do a Google search. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I just wanted to share this news really brief with you. And we're going to bump right along. And again, if you want to read the rest of that story, it's recode.net. Let's bump out of that window here. Now we'll start kicking off with some eBay stuff here. It says over here, Griffin Lee to hang up their mics as eBay radio closes. This one information came off of tamebay.com. Excuse me. And it says over here, nothing lasts forever. Today it's the turn of eBay Radio to announce its farewell to the world after thousands of twice weekly broadcasts stretching back over the decade and a half. The last broadcast will be live from eBay Open in Las Vegas on the 26th of July as eBay Radio closes its show for final time. It says after 15 years, the duo Griffin Lee will be no more. Lee is retiring in 2018 as she has planned for some time and will be able to spend time with her husband John, who has been engineering the bi-weekly show. And it just goes on to talk about that they will probably be doing a podcast. And if you still want to listen to the show, I guess you could. I don't think he has any announcements just yet, but that's what when I gather the news is what's going to be happening. It'll be podcast rather than a live show. So we're going to move right along. I think there's another segue with this here from e-commerce bites. Let's see here. Click this on. Okay, well, we'll bounce around with that. We'll hit that when we get to it. Here's one. Now, this one here is ecommercebites.com. Now, there's quite a bit up here if you look that have e-commerce bites on there. The stories will be coming from them. So you could check them out later on. Like I said again, I am not going to read all of these here because we will be here all day. This one came out Sunday, July 1st, 2018. eBay reveals why, when and why it hides sellers' sales. It says, beware when running a sale on your eBay listings, shoppers may not see it. eBay Bob Cuppins, Executive Bob Cuppins, revealed on Wednesday that if the sales offers aren't good enough, eBay will suppress them. You see, this is the part. See, these are the things I didn't get a chance to read. So these are the things I don't like. See, I don't like when eBay starts dictating and starts making changes like this. Now, a lot of people may say, "What's the big deal?" You know, what do you mean? Because here's the thing that bothers me, folks. We're paying for this service. We're paying to be on this service. Okay, every month I pay eBay a decent bill to be on their website. Okay, to sell my goods. Now you're going to tell me that if my sales offer isn't good, you're going to suppress them? I mean, come on. Maybe that's why that's maybe why a lot of us ain't making sales. And you know, folks, the more stuff like this, the more eBay keeps pulling things like this, the more you're going to have people bumping off of here and going to go to other sell platforms like Amazon, Etsy, and Poshmark. You know, I'm telling you, I think eBay is going to do themselves in. And, you know, I didn't get a chance to read this because when I get the eBay alerts, I just click them on, and then I usually read them as we go along when I do the show, the Reseller News. But this is what bothers me. Okay, this is why I get annoyed with eBay. All right, it goes on to say they may be unwelcoming news, but at least sellers now have the great understanding of how to deal with this new unannounced policy from eBay after 6 months of uncertainty. Some backgrounds for unlimited when sellers run sales. eBay displays a banner showing your offers at the top of the listings in order to entice shoppers. For example, it goes on to say a seller may run a BOGO sale to buy one get one at X amount off. Okay, and then it goes on to say here, but beginning in January, eBay moves sellers' sales banners to the bottom of the listings where shoppers would be less likely to see them. Again, I don't like this type of tactic, folks. And you want to know something? What's going to happen, you're going to probably have, as time goes on, you're going to probably have a lot of sellers, they're going to take up liberty, and they're going to probably eventually get off of this here. I've been reading on a lot of blog posts. There are a lot of unhappy sellers out there, and there are going to be a lot of them dropping off, because from what I've been reading on the blog posts, there are people out there that are very disgusted with what's going on with eBay, let alone with all the glitches. I didn't get a chance to read this one here, folks, as I said earlier, because like I said, I get so many Google alerts about eBay, Amazon, and Etsy. I can't fit them all in on this Reseller News segment here. It'd be way too much. But this is just to share this with you, okay? I'm not going to get too much into it because, like I said, I'd rather you guys, I'll give you the site. You can look it up for yourself. This one came out July 1st, 2018. I always like to throw the year in there so you know it's not something that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And you can see it on e-commerce bites, okay? And the story you're looking for is eBay reveals why and when it hides sellers' sales, okay? I don't like it. I'm not happy with it. Let's bump out and go to the next one. Here we have eBay tracking is broken, leaving sellers panicked. I might have talked about this one once before on my other news segment. Here it seems again. This one came out. All right, this was from June 29th. I may have done it. For those who are new, I might be repeating myself again, but you might want to check into it again. It is old news, but it's good news. It says over here, it goes on to say tracking is the only way buyers and eBay can tell if a seller has shipped out the item, but today reports are flooding that the tracking is broken, just like everything else with them. The consequences are especially dire since eBay is notifying the sellers they are losing their top-rated seller status because they ain't meeting the tracking requirements, even in the cases where they're meeting them. So in other words, folks, eBay's glitch is causing a problem, and they are going to take your top-rated seller status away from you, even though when it's not your fault. Again, if you get people, all I can say is this: if you're having situations like this, call up eBay, voice your opinion, and try to get it out there and tell them that you're very unhappy with what's going on here, because this is a problem. Okay, you know the situation. I've talked about it in my other Reseller News. Sales are dire slow. I mean, they are dead. I mean, if you get one here and there, I think it's just I think what eBay is trying to do is keep some of the top-rated sellers from a little fishbone, so to speak, just to keep you into the game. But you know what's going to eventually happen? It's going to get to be so dire where the sales are like so stagnant and dead that people are going to say, you know what? Throw their hands up and say, I am done with this here. I am not going to stay with eBay anymore. I'm not making any money. I can't make it in this business, especially selling this platform. Let me go elsewhere. It's going to happen, folks. You mark my words. It's going to happen. And if you want to read this story, it's in ecommercebytes.com. The story you're looking for, it came out on June 29, 2018. It's the story you'll be looking for. eBay tracking is broken, leaving sellers panic. Okay, Let's bump out of this one here. This one here is an Amazon story. Okay, Amazon launches a franchise like a program for couriers. Yeah, now this is what I was talking about earlier. Amazon wants an army of couriers it can control without having the risks, of course, associated with hiring them. Introduce the Delivery Service Program Partner Program, DSP, where Amazon will train people to operate their own delivery business, but with a crucial difference. They will be limited to delivering Amazon packages only. Of course, well, I mean, that stands to reason. You know, you're working for Amazon. Why are you going to deliver eBay stuff or Etsy or Poshmark? It makes sense. I'm not going to read this whole story here. It goes down, just to give you a quick idea, it goes, you can get the brochure if you want, I guess, by contacting them. It says successful owners can expect startup cost of as low as $10K. Avenue potential is, oh, this one here, this is a $1 million to $4.5 million. Average profit, annual profit potential, $75K to $300K. Figures are projection with 20 to 40 vans. Okay, yeah. Well, if you got that kind of money to do that there, then why would you want to do in the delivery business? I'd rather just work at home and not even bother with this here. But anyway, there are people out there that may jump on in this here. They feel it's a good opportunity. Again, they see these big figures. I like these big figures. But read the bottom line here. All right, figures are projections for owners operating 20 to 40 vans. Okay. If people get if they don't read, like they say, the old saying, the fine print, you might be looking and say, wow, $10,000, I get a truck, you know, I get training here. My potential is $1 to $4.5 million, and a profit of $75,300. Yeah, of course, we got 20 to 40 vans, and not only that, then you got to hire people, 20 to 40 people to run it. So, you know, you got to be careful with these things sometimes, folks. This again came out June 28, 2018. E-commerce bites. And this is the Amazon launches franchise-like program for couriers. You could work for Amazon too. You don't have to worry about buying all that stuff. Let's move right along. Okay, here's the other story we talked about. This is one we picked up earlier. The first one, eBay's cutting costs includes killing eBay Radio. This is on e-commerce bites. This one goes on to say eBay quietly laid off hundreds of employees on Wednesday at the cost-cutting measures, including terminating eBay Radio, a live call-in show broadcast over the internet every Tuesday and Thursday with a focus on helping sellers. It will be replaced by a pre-recorded podcast. Excuse me. eBay couched the end. The end of the live web radio program as a retirement. The program's outside producer, Lee Marable, whose company Voice Marketing Incorporated provide technology to run eBay Radio. If you want to read the rest of this story, again, e-commerce bites. Let's keep moving right along because I got a lot of windows open up, and I want to try to keep this going as quick as I can here. Here's another one that came out from this is e-commerce bites, June 29, 2018. How eBay penalizes sellers unfairly with new return metric. Dear Ina, eBay is rolling out a new returns metrics that penalize sellers with high return rates monetarily and likely to search and visibility next. It says what is being overlooked is how the comparison is being made. The comparison is very broadly based in the primary categories, not subcategories. So, for example, if I sell used cell phones and I'm being compared to other consumer electronic sellers who might be selling a new calculator or a new cable end. Obviously, a subcategory on use of used cell phones will clearly have a higher rate of return, so that you can so how can I be compared to the new calculator seller's returns rate effectively? It goes on. It goes without saying that comparison must be made in subcategories and inclusive of used, new parts, etc. You can read the rest of this here, folks. Again, e-commerce bites. Let's move right along. Here's one over here, eBay. This is again June 28, 2018. eBay July 4th sale is hurting sellers. Okay. Dear Ina, eBay is doing a sale that's good. People see it and click. Now, those people are in an online bubble look at the URL only showing those things in sale. And even though my stuff is in a category that is listed on the main sales page, once they click the sale enticement and do other searches, 0% of my stuff shows up. You know what this reminds of, folks, with the promoted listings? I don't get involved with that, guys. I don't know if you do. I heard a lot of mixed reviews about the promoted listings. I won't use it because first off, I heard other sellers talking about it. One seller on YouTube as a reseller, and he stated that he used promoted listings for some of his stuff to get it up there. Hopefully can make some sales. And from the story I gathered from him, if I understood it right, he said when he used the promoted listings on some of his items, he noticed they were getting watches but no buys, and the ones that didn't have the promoted listings were getting views and were making purchases. He was getting sales from it. So that's kind of like a mixed thing with that there. I wouldn't get involved with it, folks, but that's me personally. I don't know. However, some other people may say, "Oh, well, if you use promoted listings, you'll see a big uptick in sales." Like I said it once before, folks, you can only stack so many things so high before it drops off the top of the totem pole. You can't tell me with 25 million plus eBay sellers out there. I'm not saying all 25 million people are going to jump in on a bandwagon and use promoted listing, but how high are you going to go with that there? If you say, well, I'm going to join this here, where are you going to come in that train, on the totem pole there? Are you going to be in the top, the middle, below? Most likely you're going to be probably in the bottom, because there's so many other people ahead of you. You can't tell me that everybody uses promoted listings. Everybody's going to be in the top. You can't tell me that. It's just like someone saying with these things there, oh, if you start this type of business, you can make $1 million a year. All these companies that talk about, oh yeah, if you start this business here, there's people making 30, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 a month. You're going to tell me everybody's going to be that successful, that everybody's going to jump in the bandwagon and make that? Come on, give me a break. But anyway, you could check into this here, folks. I don't buy into all of this stuff here. I want to share it with you. Again, if you want to check it out, it's on e-commerce Byte, and the one you're looking for is, it came out on June 28th. It's eBay July 4th. Sale is hurting sellers. Like everything else is hurting sellers, right? It's been out the glitches hurting sellers. Now you're going to have this hurt more. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I have this twice. Okay, let's get rid of that one. Here's another one, e-commerce Bytes. This one came out. Where is the date? This is July 2nd. It's come out today. But over here it says June 30th. I'm looking at this top here, latest news. Okay, this is something else. Sorry, folks. This came out June 30th. It says over here, Etsy lands in India and expands in Europe. It says Etsy has landed in India, placing a small team of on the ground there, and is expanding in Germany and Central Europe through the deal of Dewanda, the online marketplace that announced the geographical expansion of the press release blog post on Saturday. You can read the rest of this here for those who are involved and that do sell on Etsy. You can check this story out. Again, e-commerce Bytes. Let's move right along. Okay, here's another one here. This one came out on June 30th. E-commerce Bytes. E-partners with trading card seller to provide pricing data. eBay announced the availability of new research tool on a third-party site. The publisher of PWCC sells trading cards on the eBay platform. eBay said the PWCC's tool provides over 250 million data points that leverages the historical trends of all cards that were sold on eBay's platform for the past 15 years. Note that last year the PWCC became part of the select few participating in eBay's consignment service. Okay, you can read this here if you want. I'm not going to get rid of this one just yet because I want to read a little of it myself. I didn't get a chance to, so let's go over here. Did we go into this one here? There's another one here. Okay, here's another one for Etsy sellers. Etsy delays change now collects fees from sellers. Etsy notified sellers that seller is delaying a change in billing practices first announced in April. The crux of the change is explained to the sellers at the time. Starting June, we will automatically deduct any taxes and fees you owe for the money you've made from the Etsy payment sales. In its post email to let me read this back again. In its post and email to sellers, Etsy said it was delaying making a change and said it would release the new experiences later this year. Okay, and you can read this here again. It's on, again, e-commerce Bytes, and this story came out on June 28th. Let's move right along. Okay, this is the EKG here. You can check that out. I'm not going to get into it. It talks about the issues reported, and you can read all the different ones here. The ones for this was for July 2nd, July 1st, and it goes down, it counts down, I think. Oh, these are all for July, then 29. Yeah, you can read this if you want. Just go to the e-commerce Bytes and just look for the one that says e-commerce EKG, and you can read the stories over there. I'm not going to get into that one here. Let's move right along. All right, this is Frugal for Less. We don't want to get to that one just yet. Product identifiers, I don't know what that's all about. This one here. You know, I'm sorry, folks. I get so many different things here, and everything keeps popping up all at one time. I want to get to frugal for less, but we'll get that in a second here. I want to stick on the eBay. Selling things on eBay has totally changed my life. Here's a gentleman that got some kind of award here for 2017. He was selling on eBay. Selling things on eBay is a quick way to earn a bit of pocket money for many people, but for Joe Waggett, selling his products on the auction website has changed his life. Joe said, starting an eBay business has been a great journey, and my life has been totally changed. I never dreamt the business would get to where it is today. And he goes on to talk a little more about his business and so on and so forth. If you want to read this story, folks, it is in the portsmouth.co.uk. And just look for selling things on eBay. It has totally changed my life. If you can't find it on Google, and hopefully you'll get to that. But that's what it is. It's on portsmouth.co.uk. Let's move right along. eBay unveils the best price guarantee. This came out July 2nd today. It says eBay Australia has announced it will start refunding customers if they find a lower price on an item from a competitor within 48 hours of purchasing the same item on the online marketplace. Okay, you can check this out here. This is a new one. This came from Insider Retail, and the website is insideretail. It says over here insideretail.com.au. Okay, I guess the Australia one, and it's called Inside Retail. If you want to read about that, this is news to me. I didn't know about it, and that's why I'm sharing with you guys. I like to put it up. I like to put things up that I feel that if you're not familiar with, you will get a little insight as to what's going on, the changes going on within eBay. Let's move right along here. Folks, I came across this one over here. There's a website that I got in one of the Google alerts. Every time I try to go to it, it keeps bumping me off. I can't remember the name of it offhand. I think it's called The Telegraph. And every time I go to it, it keeps bumping me right off. It won't let me do it unless I subscribe. They have you can subscribe for $1 a day, something like that. Every time I try to read it, it wouldn't. So I just typed in on a Google search, what's it worth? eBay apparently has their own thing like that, what it's worth, and you could type it very simple. The only thing I got to say, folks, is with the prices, you got to be careful. Now, if you look over here, it says over here new prices over here, $13 to $60, which doesn't make sense, right? Here's a used price for $20. You know, the reason why I'm laughing is like the new prices are going cheaper than the older price. I mean, look at this here. Look at this comparison. Now, this is called on eBay. It's called eBay Explore, right? It says explore.ebay.com. What's it worth? You type it in there. I typed in. This is the printer I have. I bought. Well, I didn't pay this much money for it. I think I paid 15 or 20 bucks for mine when I bought mine at a thrift store. But it shows you over here if it's going for new, right? It's going between $13 and $60, and if it's going for used, the used price is $21 to $86. Okay. You can type in anything in here. It'll hopefully, if they do have something in their search engine, it'll bring it up and it'll give you a value point. But I mean, let's be honest with you. I mean, give me a break. I mean, you know what I'm saying here? Let's try 7525 printer. That's another one I had. I sold. Let's see what it comes up with. I'm just curious, folks. Let's check it out. All right. Now, the 7525 is a little more newer model, and it's even cheaper than the older one. Okay. How valid or how good this information is, I don't know. It's on eBay's their website. Okay. And to get to there, you just go to, it's https / explore.ebay.com worth, or you can just type a Google search. That's what I did, what it's worth, and you can see what's trending now. It's not bad. You could check out over here if you hit the trending button while you're in that website, and it's loading up the data right now, and you'll see pretty much what's trending right now. These are the things that they're saying trending. Okay, again, how valid the information is. This is again coming off of eBay's website. This is what they're calling to them. This is what's trending. Okay, all right, not me. That's them. All right, they got quite a bit here. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but they got quite a bit of things here. This is just to give you an idea of what is trending on eBay. All right, so you could check it out for yourself, folks, and tell me what you think. If people who are new followers or current or past or whatever present followers, the information I put out, if you get anything from it, please share it. Let me know if you got anything, if it's helpful to you or not. I want to know your comments, what you think about the stuff or what's going on with eBay. But you can see here, this is what's going on right now. This is what's trending. All right, I'm not going to keep going down the whole list because it's going to keep refreshing before I get to the bottom. Then they had the best sellers, of course. These are what they call, this is their best sellers. Electronics, okay? They got the Lenovo, laptop. What do you got here? Another Lenovo. These all look like Lenovo. New Balance sneakers are going. They're in there. These are what's saying the best sellers. So again, you could check it out for yourself. I'm not going to get into all of this here. Okay, and that's again, this is what for eBay Explore. All right, let's move right along. I'm going to keep that window because I want to check some stuff out myself. Your old iPod or Walkman could be worth thousands. See how much here. Okay. Now it says we have the postcode to see the news from information community. I'm not going to go through that right now. The story goes on to say over here, okay, if you got an old classic gadget from the 80s and 90s, you're now in luck. They're exchanging the hands for thousands of pounds. Okay, apparently it's talking about the UK. That's what I think. Yep, UK. I'm looking at the website. That's where I got it from. This is coming up the CambridgeNews.co.uk, and they're talking about the things that may be worth, your old items that may be worth money. You could read this story here, folks. Again, I'm not going to get too much into it here. Let me bump this here out here. And I tell you what it's worth and stuff and so on and so forth. All right, you can check that out. And last but not least, I'm going to bump out of this window here. And I always like to tell you guys, I always like to share information with you guys with whatever I think is interesting or maybe of help to you in some way. Here's Frugal for Less. If you're not familiar with it, you might want to check it out. You can go to frugalforless.com and you can read what they have to offer. They got money-making apps. They got the best survey sites. Start a blog. They got different categories to shop in, I believe. Make money, save money, apps and websites, frugal travel, psychology of money, and then of course you got the homepage. This one here is top cashback review, earn cash back from your online purchases, and then it goes on to talk a little about direct link to top cashback. It says we shop online a lot. Let's see what else I got here. How does it work? And then it talks a little about this one here is talking about signing up for and stuff like that, and talks about the participating retailers. You can check it out for yourself, folks. And that's called frugalforless.com. And the last thing I'm going to bump out of here, folks. I'm going to get out of this screen here. And I just want to talk about a little about I want to get back to with eBay and talk about the layoffs and stuff like that. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. Excuse me, my allergies acting up. Plus I get tongue-tied talking so much. Plus I'm talking fast. With all the glitches going on with eBay, folks, all these different things happening with the no views, still no views. I don't even bother calling up eBay anymore. I just threw my hands up. I'm waving the white flag. I surrender. It's done. There's too many glitches going on. I didn't even check Down Detector. I was going to do a Down Detector in this segment here with the Reseller News to see what's going on. If you guys get a chance, check out downdetector.com, and you want to look for the one that says eBay and click it on, and that'll tell you the latest news that's going on. If you still see stuff that's posted for July 29th or whatever, the 30th, go check out the comments and read what the other sellers are talking about. Seriously, you really need to check that out. A reason I just want to say one thing in regards to eBay's customer service and the eBay infrastructure itself. I'm not no statistician, and I don't sit here claiming to be Mr. Know-It-All, but I will share this with you guys, and I'd like to share it with you. I hope you don't mind. It's a little brief thing about myself, how I got into this line of work. Back in June of 2016, 1,000 of our jobs went overseas. Now you're probably saying, well, what does this have to do with eBay? What it has to do, what I think, okay, this is my personal take on it. I read it somewhere else in another blog post, and I can kind of relate to what that person's saying in that blog post. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I worked with finance in the finance area. And the sad thing is, I'm not going to tell you what company or who they were bringing in. The people I worked with, it's really sad to say. I was fortunate if I didn't have to. But I will say this. The people that were brought into the company, with the co-workers I worked with, they had to train these people. Okay? They had to train these people. And what they were doing is, and you got to see, it's got to be the most uncomfortable thing that anybody could experience. You have a person outsourced from another company, from an overseas company, coming into your company and sitting side by side with you learning your job for so many weeks or months or whatever it is, and then they're going to go back to that country and do your job. Well, from what I was told, I was fortunate enough I didn't have to do that, because my job capacity was a lot different than I was. More administration work and stuff like that. I did more support work and stuff of that nature. I didn't deal with too much with the financial part, as far as doing computations, calculations, all that other stuff. But the people that had to do that, it was rough for them. Okay, and here's the thing: despite how much training you teach that person, if they don't get it, they don't understand your ways, how you do things, and how the company operates, it becomes a nightmare. And the reason I'm saying that is because when I would talk to other workers about that scenario, a lot of people who were training these people, they said they didn't get it, and a lot of the stuff was getting messed up on the system. Okay. I was in IT for many years, and in order for me to get on job sites, I had to be certified, plain and simple. I was doing consultant work, and I worked in mainframe for many years, and I had to have a certain certification before they would send me out on a job. And I did, like I said, I did consultant work for quite some time. And when you're sitting in there, when you're going to the consultant agency, a place where they're going to send you out, I'll never forget, I went into a room and I was sitting there with about 3 or 4 people, and they're bombarding you with questions. Not only, let alone they want to see your certification, make sure you are certified, okay, for that particular area. And they're throwing these questions at you, and you better know what you're answering. You better know how to answer them, because let me tell you something, folks. And this goes for a lot of people in IT now. There may be people that can fudge it on let's say you're on an application, or if you're getting on an interview. But let me tell you, when a push comes to shove, you might get past the first protocol of it. Like, in other words, if you're going for a job, and let's say the manager that's interviewing you may overlook something or skip something. But the real test of the matter is when you're on that job, and you have a worst case scenario comes up, and if you can't get that problem resolved, and you're sitting there scratching your head saying, "Oh my God, what is this? What am I supposed to do? I forgot what I'm supposed to do," because you fudged the job. You're telling people things that they want to hear, and that you don't really know, but you're doing it because you're saying, "Well, I'll wing it." IT, you don't wing things. Okay. Now there may be some people say, "Well, I could go to PC repair, PC technician. That's the easy thing." I went for my PC certification, and whether people believe it or not, there may people on here that may come and say, "Oh, come on, PCs is not that's a joke. Anybody could do that. You can get a 12-year-old kid, just let them teach them, and they could do it themselves." There may be some things. There's some validity to that. There is. But you ever see the IT book? You ever see the A+ certification manual? It's about that thick. Now you might say, "Yeah, but not every." Did you read the book like that? I read a good part of it. I didn't read all 1,600 pages or whatever. I still have it. It's thick. It's a thick book. Not big. It's not like a bigger book, but it's thick. It's got to be at least 1,600. I think it's like 1,600 pages. I know it's a big, thick book. And when you're going for your certification, you're going for your hardware and software tests. And those tests back then, I think what, $150 a piece or something like that when I took them. And if you fail, you just blew that money. It's just like taking $150, $160 and throwing it up in the garbage. Thank God I knew enough to pass both tests to get my certification in that part. There's so many different certifications with IT. You could go for a network engineer. You can go for what do you call it? A CCIC. What is that? Cisco Certified System Engineer. SC. And I think they got another one, Cisco Network Engineer. I think there's one that's very top rated. It's a Cisco, and there's a lot of tests to do that job. To get that certification, and you better up on it. Okay, it's a lot of text, a lot of books to read. I think the MCSE, or Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. I think you have to take 8 tests. Don't quote me on it. It's been a while since I got into that line of work. I was in that world, a lot of work. Not that part, but I was more mainframe. I did hardware. I'm more of a hardware person. That's why I went for my PC technician. And the next thing was going to go for networking. But the point I'm getting across is you can't fudge that stuff. Now, you may get away with little things if you got a job. Let's say they brought you in as a, I don't know, a network engineer or something like that. You may know the little aspects of it. You know, you can say, well, I could do this, I could fix that. So, but when it comes to complex stuff and you don't know it, you're going to be dogged. And you're probably saying, what does this have to do with jobs, overseas jobs, of that? The point I'm trying to get across is, folks, is in other places, the way they teach as opposed to here in the U.S. is two different. I would think it's two different things. You might say, well, that's false because everybody's got to learn the same technique. I'm not saying that's true in all cases. But the point I'm getting across is, if a person is not well diversified in that area, and you're just throwing them into the mix and saying, hey, this is what we're doing, this is how we do it, and this is how it's got to be done. If a person can't comprehend it, or there's a language barrier. Now, I'm not saying this to be funny, but there are times I called up eBay a couple occasions, more than a couple, and I was getting hits from people all different parts of the country, the world. One call I got was in the Philippines, another one was in Asia, another one was out in Pennsylvania, PA, and they're all over the place. I call them like satellite offices, okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy talking to the people. I even tell them, I say, I'm not making any derogative statements or anything of that sort. I enjoy talking to different people of different walks of life. I do. I love interacting with people. That's another part of the reason why I do the YouTube videos. I love interacting with people. I like to get feedback from people. But the point I'm trying to say is, folks, sometimes when those things happen like that, it doesn't always help a business. You know, and I'm not saying this to be funny or cute, but I'm just trying to say, when you start going out of that little circle and you start trying to, you know, throw things here and a little over here and a little over there and try to make it and put it into the mix, sometimes it always doesn't work. And I think that's the problem right now what's going on with eBay. They're all over the map, so to speak. They're doing this, that, and the other thing. And I think that's why I think they're succumbing to so many different problems. Because you might get certain individuals that might not be too familiar with their system. And they bring them in, they train them really quick. And if you're not comprehending stuff, you don't get it, you can't grasp it, you're going to bound to make errors. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, I understand companies do these things because the cost of cutting, you know, it's very effective. But I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that's the case with eBay, but I thought I read something like that on one of the blog posts, like, you know, that they have their work outsourced. Look, a lot of companies outsource. Go do a Google search for your curiosity and see how many companies, U.S. companies, have outsourced jobs to different parts of the countries, you know, different parts of the world, you know, whatever, you know. And in some cases, the service may be depleted. I'm not trying to be funny, but there was one time I talked to another guy. I don't know if it was, but I'm with Verizon for my internet, and I was talking to somebody over there, and I couldn't understand the person. I said, I don't know if they understood what I said, but I couldn't understand them. I couldn't make out what they were saying. I said, I'm very sorry. I go, I don't understand you. I'm going to hang up now. I said, I'm very sorry. I apologize. And I don't know if they understood what I said. I had to hang up. I couldn't understand the person. And this is what I'm bringing out. If eBay is making all these changes to their data infrastructure, whatever, their programming, whatever, and people don't get the understandings of that, how that system works, the dynamics behind it, I think it could cause problems like this. But this is just me. It's just my opinion. I'm just sharing that with people. Okay, I'm not making any derogative statements. I'm not bad-mouthing people or saying it's the wrong thing they did, the right thing they did. I'm just trying to say I read this on other blog sites. And seeing and hearing from the people I used to work with, stating that the people that they trained were not understanding the workload over here, you know, the way it was done over here in the U.S., and now it's going to a foreign country and they don't know how it's done. I heard things were getting messed up. And with finances, you know, accounting and stuff like that, You want to be on the ball. You want to be on the ball with that, folks. You know, you throw numbers off, it could affect one thing, you know, as opposed to another. So what I'm trying to say is, the point I'm getting across is, without dwelling on that topic, is that if all these different glitches are happening, it could be for a number of reasons. You know, they're rolling out new features within their programs and stuff. But you know, when I read e-commerce bites and I read about those things, about the sellers, behind the sellers' sales and all that stuff there, I said to myself, first of all, why would eBay do stuff like that? If it's an open platform, what difference does it make if a person's got good offering, have a good sales or a bad? We don't say, no, well, not bad sales. How could you have a bad sales? All right, I always see sometimes on eBay radio when you know, you might hear one of the talk show hosts might say, well, I think a person should offer free shipping on everything, without saying, you know, one of the talk hosts will say that there, and you know, you can't just come out and verbally say what you would do and say, well, I offer it there, so I don't give anybody a hard time. I pay for the free shipping and return shipping. We have no choice. I'm on that right now too. And the only reason why I'm being compelled to it is because if I don't abide by their rules and regulations, they take that top-rated seller badge away from me. Plain and simple. They take it away from you. It's a give and take. You want that top-rated seller badge? Well, you're going to go by the 30-day free returns. You're paying for return shipment if they don't like that item. I never used to have that. I used to have on there, buyer pays return shipping. Now it's done. It's done. Do you have to do that free thing? No, you don't have to. But if you want that top-rated seller badge, you have to, from what I understand, you need to have that there. And that's not fair. It's like you're compelling a person to do things against their wishes. For example, when they come out with their recommended pricing, you don't know what I paid for that item. You're telling me in order for me to have that item, you know, to get that, to make a sale, that I have to lower my prices down so low? You don't even know what I paid for it. And then on top of it to say, well, you know, we offer free, you got to offer free shipping too, that would help out. I can't offer free shipping. My profit margin would be zero. I mean, it wouldn't even pay for me to be on eBay at that point. And that's why, like I said, eBay is a nice selling platform. There are people, I'm sure, that are doing a lot better. I have to say one thing. I just did this. You might want to try this out for yourself if you get a chance. I went to one site. I don't remember who, what, or where. I did it at random. I just picked it out at random. I said, let me go to a top-rated seller. I don't know how I did. I don't know how I got into it, but I forget how I did it offhand. But all I know is I went to a top-rated seller, was selling items higher priced than mine, $100, $200, whatever. I forget what it was: clothing, pocketbooks, certain things, whatever. And I said to myself, just for curiosity, because I'm very curious by nature, by the way, I said, let me do something. Let me go into the sold listings, on their sold listings. I want to see what they got. What are they selling? How good are they doing? I went on there, I looked at the sold listings, and these people are selling things over $100. I think it was clothing, some type of clothing, I think pocketbooks or whatever it was, I think certain types of shoes. And I'm looking, and I'm scrolling down. I don't know how many sold sales they had. I think what, 250 or 265, something like that. And I'm looking, June 28th, June 27th, and it's going down. It's counting down. They're making sales almost for that whole month. And then it protracts into May and June. You know what I'm saying? Then it goes into May and June, and then it starts going down. Oh, up to 200. Well, they made 265 sales, sold sales for that time there, for that time frame. And I said to myself, how can that be possible? I'm selling stuff under $100 as far as I know. Oh no, I'm sorry. The jewelry box, the musical jewelry box, I got that for $799. I don't think I'm gonna get that price for it. If I get it, it'd be a miracle. That's the only thing I got. That's $799. I don't think I'm gonna get it though, folks. I think that's gonna be marked down again. I think, and I have 3 watches on it, and most likely those are my competition. I don't care what anybody tells me. People may say, no, those are watches. Those are valuable. Right. Yeah, and I'm the President of the United States. You believe that, and I'll tell you another one. You're going to tell me that someone's over there, 3 people are watching it at that price? Now, if you really wanted something, I know people probably put you in watch list because I know they're probably doing this shopping around. I'm not saying that's not true. There are people probably out there that are shopping around, and that's great. Shop away. Go shop. Go get the better prices. But here's the thing though. What I say, if I'm selling something for that price and I'm offering with the best offer, why don't you make the best offer? Do you know I have best offers on everything outside of one thing, the Sony e-reader? And the only reason why I got it listed for $25, that's what I wanted at buyer $25, is because that's what I paid for it, folks. That's what I paid for it. I paid 25 bucks for it. That's what I want, $25. That's the only thing outside of, you know, that doesn't have a buy it now price, buy a best offer. And the other one that is over $100 is the little music box, I forget the name of it now, but it's on there. It's $7.99. That's the only one that's $7.99. But everything else is under 100 bucks. And I put best offer on there, change the description. If you don't like you like the price but not the item, make an offer. Nothing. It's like eBay had a switch to my listings and clicked it right off. But the thing I try to say is, somebody said with eBay selling that they may put people that are higher, that make good sales higher up in the search, which I think is wrong. Okay, that's not fair to the rest of us sellers. Look, I'm a little guy in the arena here. Like the old saying goes, I don't have a dog in this fight. But if you're going to play the game fair, you want to make this a level playing field, you should do it the right way. Treat everybody, whether they make good sales or low sales, treat everybody with respect and put everybody in that same group. No ifs, ands, or buts. And let the cards fall where they may. Or they say, what, let the chips fall where they may. Exactly. Okay? Give everybody a chance. I know eBay's got 25 million active sellers on their eBay. But you know what? If this keeps going on, that number may go down. I'm not saying they're going to lose millions, but they may be losing business like that. Because I tell you the truth, folks, I've been on different blog sites, and I've been hearing people saying, I'm out of eBay, I'm done with eBay. This glitch has been going on. It's been going on for weeks, months, years. Okay? It dates back, I said it before, it dates back to 2013 with this no view thing. People are coming up and saying, oh, this must have just happened. It probably was always there, but nobody really took notice to it. Even with me. You know why? Because we're so engulfed in our idea in making sales. When I would go on there and look at my listings, I used to always look at the listing, the watch column. I didn't even think about the views. Okay? I just looked before. There's no views. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. I know this is probably thinking, oh, Rich is going on a rant again. It's not that I get upset. The reason why I get upset, folks, is because I feel that a lot of sellers out there, we're getting the short end of the stick, plain and simple. And I don't think it's fair. I understand if you're a top-rated guy, you're bringing thousands and thousands, you're making eBay a lot of money, you know, whatever they make, because the more you sell, the more they make, of course. It's a simple analogy. But at the same time, how are we supposed to get up there? How are we supposed to, if you keep having, are these glitches done on purpose? You know, why is that? Why can't they fix, this is what I want to know. And this is my question to eBay. Why can't you guys, your tech team, get this thing fixed? Now, this is what I was talking about. I don't know how they diversify their work when it comes to programming and, you know, building their system up. Is it done through different times, you know, blocks? Is it that so much stuff is coming from, you know, the international is inputting their stuff in there? Is it like a Mozilla thing, Firefox? Because I think that's an open source program where people could just, everybody I think adds to it, if I'm not mistaken. I think when they say open source, my memory serves me right, I think that's what it all entails. You know, I think they get different developers adding to it. I think it's like a Linux-based system. I think Linux, from what I remember back in the day, I think that was an open source program. And don't quote me on this stuff, but I think that's how it was. Now, I'm not saying eBay's got an open source platform where everybody in there, well, they can go in, because now you'd have security breaches in there. You could have people going in there deliberately, you know, putting bugs in there, you know, or spy bots or whatever, that could, you know, cause systems like this, system glitches, where the system can be intermittently running right, or something can happen. Who knows? Maybe eBay got a spy bot. Maybe it does have a virus in there. Who knows? I don't know. I can't say for all. You know, when you start getting involved with IT and you start getting into all that data encrypted, what do you call it there? Data encrypted algorithms, whatever. You know, I don't know what the story is with that. You know. But the thing is, you know, you got to get a hold of these things, though. You know, I'm not saying this to be funny, but hire top-notch system developers, engineers. You know, people that are diversified, that know that have the experience in there. You know, I mean, there's got to be a way to circumvent this problem. You got to be able to. There's got to be a time and place when this is gonna. You got to get a grip on this here, folks. Especially in eBay. I mean, you guys out there, you're a nice selling platform. Back in the '90s when it was first created, you know, going up through the growing pains, so to speak, it got to where it had to be. You know, it got to where it is. But the thing is, now, you know, with all the competition arising between Amazon, this one, now you got, like I said, whoever heard of Etsy, Poshmark, and eBid, and all these different websites out there, Macari, whoever heard of them, Bonanza. You know, when eBay came around, I didn't hear any of those there without. If they were, it was very silent because I don't remember hearing them. Okay, I don't remember. Amazon, I think, came into the picture later on. I don't know exactly when Amazon came. I don't have the specs on it, as well, you know, the stats on it, as far as, like, you know, when they came into play. But anyway, they're surpassing eBay and a lot of other companies. But the thing I'm trying to say is, you know, back then, your platform was simplified. You know, I understand you want to make changes, but sometimes, folks, a lot of people think what's going on with eBay is basically pointed towards the buyer. And I think they want the buyer to have a very pleasant experience. Listen, you go into a department store like Walmart, you buy an item, you have 30 days to return, or whatever the return policy is. I think electronics with them is 15 days for electronics, and 30 days, I think, is everything else. I believe that's the way it is. You don't like something, you return it. Plain and simple. Follow the guidelines, you're okay. If it's past the 30-day thing and they say, well, we can't give you a store credit, we can't give you money back, we'll give you store credit. Fine. That's fine. Okay? Keep it simple. You know? You know, I think eBay is so poised on giving the buyer a great experience. What's the big deal? If you're offering a return policy, says 100% money back guarantee, why did you have to throw in that 30-day free returns? Why is the seller, who is pretty much the person that's making you, that's giving you the business? I mean, if it wasn't for a lot of sellers putting stuff in there, people may say, well, it works both ways. No, I'm talking about the seller right now. I'm talking about me and all the other sellers out there. You know, make the platform fair, okay? And stop prioritizing these high volume sellers on there. Now people say, well, you wouldn't be saying if you were high. No, I would be saying it. I would be saying it. I think it's fair game that everybody should be, you know, getting a little hands in the cookie jar, so to speak. Why is it going to be? Oh, you're a high volume seller. We'll put you on top of the food chain. Come on, give me a break. People are doing a starving act, basically. I mean, I've read on one blog site where the person said, I hope I have enough money to pay my bills at the end of the month. You got to sit here sweating every month to pay your bills. That's not a good experience, folks. I'm sorry to say that, but it's not a good experience. And if people want to, you know, comment and say, well, man, you're running them out, you're shooting stuff out there, that makes no sense. If I am, I'm sorry. I'm sharing my experiences right now. And I'm telling you outright, it's not fair. Okay? And a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of things in life that ain't fair. No, but when you're paying for something, you expect service. Okay? And my take is, folks, if you're experiencing things of this nature, like I said, with this here, it's been going on and on. I really don't want to keep doing reseller news with the same thing, but I will throw it out there when it does come into play. I get the information, as you see, from websites. I don't sit here and conjure up all these stories just to make YouTube videos. That is not what I'm all about. Okay? When I do these videos, like I said once before, I have this thing I call the His program, His Initiative program, to help inspire and share. Now, a lot of people might say, well, this is not really helping, this is inspiring. You're sharing, but it's not, those other two ain't really. No, it is. It is to help out. It is to inspire people. But the only thing is, if you have the wrong formula, or the wrong mix in the you know, the wrong ingredient in the mix, it's not going to work. And that's why I try to say in regards to sourcing, you hear people saying, "Oh, you got to go out, you got to list every day. Every day you got to keep listing. Every day you be hiring the food, you know, hiring the search and hiring the search." I tried all that. That's why I ended up with 330 listings. Not that's a lot. That's peanuts compared to what other people have. I've been on some other sales websites. They got 2,000-3,000 listings. I can never fathom being that much. They must have a lot of money to play around with. That's all I can say. I can't tie up thousands of listings, because even if you bought each one of those things for $1, do the math. Okay, if you have 2,000 items up there and they're all of $1 a piece, you just invested $2,000. I don't have $2,000 right now to invest in inventory like that. Well, I do have some things on the side, but I don't have right now that type of money where I could just say I could take $2,000 out and put it towards inventory and expect to make money. You know, I'm going to make that money back and then some. It's not working. The formula's not working. How's it going to work if the system's broke? And that's why, like I said, when I used to listen to getting back with eBay Radio, off this topic, kind of like dragging back and forth, I listen to eBay Radio and they say the same thing. You'll get top rate sales in there. They share the same, you know, and that's another thing too, folks. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I think was going on with eBay Radio. You know, it's like a played out song. You know, if you know anything about comedy shows, right? If you watch a lot of your comedy shows, we're not mentioning names, you know, they only have a 10-year lifespan, basically. That's what I was told. Although you get the remakes, you get people, they do put the same ones on. But I think after, I'm talking about when they first go on and then they go off. I think like a comedy show or whatever, or those daytime shows, I think they have a 10-year lifespan. And then after that, they go off, or then you can see, you know, the replays, whatever. And I think that's what happened, like with eBay Radio. How many people can you get on telling you the same type of different things, only in different ways? You know, with eBay Radio, it was nice. Look, you can learn from it, especially if you're a new seller. You want to get in this line of work, you can learn from it, no doubt about it. But the thing is, they tell you the same things. You'll get top rate sales, like myself. I go out, let's say I call up eBay and say, okay, yeah, my name is Rich, blah, 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 this is my website, my user ID. Okay, what tips do you have to well, what I would do is, if you have slow sales, I would try promoted listing, I would try reducing the prices, I would try, changing up the title, and they start telling you the whole format again. And it's over and over and over again. It's the same format over and over again. It doesn't change. The format doesn't change. It's like that old saying, there's only so many ways you could cook an egg. It's true. How much stuff can you tell a person? I think that's what's even affecting the retail world. You know, like Walmart's in competition with Amazon and vice versa. It's retail. It's retail. How much stuff can you do? You know, how can we all be perfect in everything? How can we all stand out above our own? You know, amongst thousands or millions of people. It's the same routine. It's a fictitious cycle. Now people must say, well, do you plan on getting out? I love retail. Do I sit here trying to, you know, brainstorm on what I can do to make sales better? Of course, but what can I do? How many things can I do? If you ever look at my listings, I put in there best offers welcomed. Make an offer today and save. I put a little capture, a little picture that says, like the item, not the price, make an offer. And buyers are still not doing it. It doesn't do anything. And they say, oh, you got with eBay, you gotta try different things. You know, you gotta experiment with eBay. Experiment? How many times can I experiment? I'm trying everything under the sun to make a sale, and it's not doing anything. You wanna know something? I'm gonna share this with you guys. Even with the best offers, this is crazy. Maybe people feel funny, but do you know something? I have best offers on everything outside that one item. I said, the Sony e-reader. People are still paying full price. And I will get on here on YouTube and tell you, give you the links to my items, and I'll tell you, make a best offer, make a best offer. I'm accepting my best offers. You know, sometimes people buy stuff, they don't even make the best offers. And I say, hey, well, that works for me. People say, well, what do you complain? I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to say, I'm doing all of this stuff, and it's not doing anything to make my sales better. The other thing I laugh at, just got to fix this for a second, folks. The other thing I gotta say is, in regards with videos, a lot of people say, well, if you add videos to your listings, that's going to help boost your sales. Give me a break. Give me a break. You're talking to the person that embeds videos in UB, not all of them, you know, some of them. Electronics, basically it's electronics, okay? Since the time I've done it with the electronics, with certain things, I think I said in one of my videos, I might have had either 2 or 3 responses saying, thank you for sharing your video. It did help in making a buying decision to buy this item. I think it was either 2 or 3 people that sent me that. That was it. Now, I'm not saying I want accolades. I want people every time I run a video say, hey, that was great. I love that video. Your videos are great. No, I'm not at all. But I think people have this thing instilled in their mind that if they put a video in it, they embed a video in it on eBay, it's going to increase the sales. It doesn't always work, folks. I'm telling you firsthand. Okay, I did embed videos in a lot of my eBay listings, and it did nothing for me. Goose eggs is what I got. I'll give you an example. I believe I have it on that music box I got listed for $7.99. I have on the bottom. If you scroll down to the bottom description, you will see a video on it showing you it working. That didn't do anything for me. It's still there. Go put it in your watch list, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Folks, it's, you know, look, I know right now people are saying this guy is a pessimist. And as I always say in my videos, I'm more of an optimist than a pessimist. But at the same time, I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell it like it is, and I try to make people aware. What you do with the information is totally up to you. If you want to leave me a comment, you can leave me a comment as long as it's nice. If you're going to leave something bad, name calling, whatever you want to say, I will not respond to it. I'll tell you right now. It will be deleted. I'm not going to get into a cyber war with anybody out there, like they call them trolls, that troll sites. You could troll my site if you like, but if you're going to leave any bad comments, that especially if it's going to be nasty or whatever, or, you know, making derogative statements, name call, whatever you want to say, they will be deleted, and I'm not gonna respond to them. I'm not going to message you back. So I'm just sharing it with everybody right now. I haven't had it happen, thank God. Maybe people were thinking about it, but I said, what's the sense? If I send this guy, if I express myself, the guy's going to just delete it anyway. That's true. I will. I'm not going to get into a cyber war with people. This channel, I created this YouTube channel not to make videos just to throw out there. It's to share different things. And as time goes on, I like to do other things outside the reseller news. Maybe talk a little about photography, talk about, you know, the still photography, digital photography, whatever things of that nature. Maybe some do-it-yourselves. Maybe I just might want to talk about, have an open conversation with people. Talk a little about myself, or share something that I thought might be of interest to you. Might be of interest to you. That's why I create this channel. It's to help people. As I always say, folks, not always say, but in some of my videos, I may not be able to help people out monetarily. I wish I could. I wish I could be the Bill Gates and the Jeff Bezos of the world, where I would help people out. If I could help you out monetarily, I would. But in a way, it would be helpful. I wouldn't just, haphazardly give money to people. I would like to help people out that are genuine need of help. But I can't. And because I can't, I figure the next best thing to do is help out through creating my videos. And again, if you get a little takeaway from something, from the videos I create, a little tidbit of information, that means a lot to me. Matter of fact, that's just as good as winning the lottery for me. Because that's what I'm all about. I'm not here to, bash anybody, making derogatory statements about anybody, talk about other sellers, bash companies. I know people may get the impression, say, well, this guy talks a lot about eBay. He gets like frustrated with eBay, with what's going on there. I do because you know why, folks? At the end of the month, if you're not making sales and you got those bills coming in, you'd be feeling the same way too. The frustration builds up. Now we're in July. June has been thumbs down. Okay, what did I make? I can't even tell you what I made in June. How many sales can I possibly got? Nothing to write home about. Sometimes your eBay listing fees, insertion fees, whatever final value fees, they outdo your gross income, what you made for that month on eBay. In some cases, you got to start tapping into your reserve to keep you going for the following month. Now we're in July. 4th of July is coming. I'm waiting for the big excuses. Well, 4th of July, you know, people go away for the vacation. It's this. It's always a big excuse. It's a seasonal excuse. It's a holiday excuse. It's this excuse. It's that. Bad weather is good. When you got bad weather, you got bad weather. But that's when you think people would buy, because if they're snowbound in the wintertime. You say, well, it's too cold to go to any malls. Let me go shop on eBay, or let me go shop on Amazon, whatever. But it's always an excuse. Tax time is an excuse because, oh, well, you know, people had all the money to. That's true. That may be true, because I'll be honest with you, I had to pay in taxes too. And yes, does that would it put a little hamper on things there, where you say, well, I got to watch my spending because I just had to pay the IRS X amount of money? Of course, that goes without saying, and I agree with that. But it's always excuse after excuse. But right now, the problem that's going on right now, I don't know if it's seasonal. People might use seasonal, or it could be a combination of the seasonal and the glitches. I don't like what eBay's doing. I don't think it's fair. People may say, well, if you don't like it, get off. I'm definitely thinking about it, I'll tell you that much. I can't. What am I going to do? I'm going to stay on eBay for what? Why would I want to stay on this website if I'm not making no sales? What am I doing? Is this all a profit gain for eBay and nothing for the seller? Remember one thing, folks. When you got your listings up there on eBay, they're getting their money every month for you. For them, it's not a loss. It's always going to be a gain for them, unless you say, well, you know, you cut off your source where you're paying them, and then they'll just take you off the site, plain and simple. You know, they'll suspend you, they'll take you off the site, whatever. So in that respect, you might say, well, I got over, I didn't pay eBay. Although you owe the money, then that's when they start taking the steps. They'll go to collections and they screw your account, your credit up, your credit rating. It's a trickle-down effect. So either way, you're going to have to abide by that rule. Plain and simple, okay? But that's what I'm trying to say. It's always a gain for them, and it's a loss for you at times. And I always say in my videos, when I get on this topic, if you got more money going out than coming in, that is a big problem, folks. And, you know, I don't know, people think like, well, this guy sounds like a broken record, but for the newcomers that are getting involved with this here, please think about it before jumping into it. And I used to always get a kick when I listen to eBay radio, when I hear people saying, I'm quitting my job, I'm doing eBay full time. Quitting your job, doing eBay full time. Do you have a lot of money put away? Are your bills done? You know, you have very little minimal bills. Is your mortgage paid off? Do you have any car payments? Is your car paid off? You have credit card debt? You're sitting there broadcasting to, well, the people that listen to eBay radio or something, millions. It's got to be in the thousands. You're broadcasting to these thousands of people. You're quitting your job full time to do eBay. Oh, look, listen, folks. I got into this here because I got laid off in 2016. I was very happy with my job. I loved what I did. I was hoping to retire there. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Am I looking for sympathy? Is it a sob story? No, neither or. I don't want sympathy. I don't want people feeling sorry for me. It happens. Every day it happens. eBay is having layoffs in Israel and Portland. We're just on it. I think it was in one of the Reseller news I did there. I think about eBay layoffs. They're going through layoffs. And not only that, if you look back, if you do further research, eBay had other layoffs where I think they had, it was either, I think 1,600 people or something like that. It was up there. There was a lot of people that got laid off. So this is not the first time you're hearing about layoffs. eBay had layoffs. Type it for yourself. If you don't believe me, do a Google search, type in eBay layoffs, 2016 or 2017. You'll see, it'll come up with it. You know how Google is, they bring all the things up, their listings. Read it for yourself. This is how I get my information, folks. I gotta be somewhat up on it because, like I said, I have to do research. I'm not gonna just throw this stuff out there, like I said again, to make videos. That's totally ludicrous. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sit here just drumming up stuff and say, this sounds good. Let me throw this out there without having the facts. Now, you might say, yeah, but Google, could you believe what's right? Hey, if it's coming from Google and the company that's talking about it, it's a reliable source, why not? Why not believe them? Why? Is it impossible? You want to find out some other stuff? Here's another one for you. Do a Google search on companies that outsource their work and see how many companies that outsource their jobs to different parts of the country, the world. You will be surprised And you may also be very upset because you might say, I can't believe the list. I did it one time. I don't know if I have it somewhere in my computer. The list, I think, was either 2 or 3 pages or something like that. Ridiculous how they had all these companies, U.S. companies, outsourcing the work, outsourcing these jobs. Now, I'm all in favor for, like I said, helping out and stuff like that, but whatever happened to the charity begins at home? Whatever happened to, let's try to make things work here. I would have still had my job if it wasn't outsourced. Why? Cheap labor. That's the only reason why people do it. Companies do it. Reputable companies do it. I live in New York. Back in the day, the garment district used to be a big thing. They used to have commercials. I don't know the banking commercials where you see guys rolling the car, the what do you call it, the racks with the clothes there in the garment district. I don't know how it is today, but pick up any of your designer clothes. Proof is in the pudding, folks. It's not me. Look at the label in there. Look where it's made. Next time you go to Macy's or Saks, I don't shop in those stores, but I'm saying, but you go to those high-end retailers, for curiosity, when you walk into the mall, just look at the labels in there. Look at some of the top end, the top designer clothes. Look where they're made. I'm serious. Check it out for yourself. You might say, all right, so what's the point? What are you getting at? I'm just throwing it out there, folks. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay? And again, in regards to the eBay glitch situation, it is what it is, folks. We either grin and bear it or get out. Like that old saying, you can't take the heat out of the kitchen. Plain and simple. If you feel that eBay is draining your resources, your reserves, or you're not making enough on it, then folks, that's something you have to deal with. You got to deal with that. That's something you got to sit down and seriously think about. Especially if you're doing this full time. Can't be a full-time income if you're not making a full-time, you know what I'm saying, if you're not selling anything. It's not a full-time income. It becomes, what it becomes? Pocket money. As people would say today, hey, make a chump change. Oh, what'd you make today eBay? As a matter of fact, some people may even think like eBay's like a chump change business anyway, which is wrong, because I would get offended if someone said that. Oh, you're selling eBay? What do you make, chump change? I would be very insulted if somebody said that to me. But that's what some people think of it sometimes. Oh, what could you be making on eBay? What do you make? Pocket money? You make money for gas? Is that what you're making for? You make money to go to McDonald's to eat this week? Oh, what'd you sell? A little $10 item? Or where are you going to go? Are you going to upgrade? You're going to go to Burger King instead of McDonald's? You don't have to buy it, so now you don't have to buy out the dollar menu anymore? I don't think McDonald's has a dollar menu. I don't even know it anymore. But that's what gets to be. That's what it turns out to be after a while. And it's sad because, and I'm not saying this to insult people. I'm being upfront and honest. I'm in that boat. I'm in the same boat as everybody else. So I'm just the point I'm trying to get across, folks, is, you got to look at the whole picture. You got to look at the whole picture and digress on it and say, well, you know what? Everything has a cause and effect to it. Now, if eBay's got glitches, or these glitches that date back 6 years ago, I don't know what to say, folks. All I know is when I was in IT, we never had system glitches like this that lasted this long. And if we did have a glitch, it didn't last for 6 years. Okay? I was in mainframe. It was developers, software engineers and developers to make it their business. Because remember what they say, everything flows downhill. So they would get reprimanded from their higher ups, executive management, especially if you're a top developer. Get this fixed, and soon. I worked in a company that made software. It was a software development company. We couldn't afford to have our data center or glitches down. That's why we had state-of-the-art stuff in our data center. Okay? We couldn't afford to have our systems crashing. That's why we had 2 diesel engine power, backup systems there, generators. Okay? It was a massive data center. It was big. We couldn't afford to have that stuff down. Okay? You can't run a car without gas. It's the same thing with the data center. You gotta, in order to make that thing work, to make that system work properly, you gotta have it fueled up right. Okay? You gotta make sure that program is out there. It's almost close to being flawless. There's no room for error there. It's just like with COBOL. When you take the COBOL language, you missed a little margin, a hyphen, whatever, it could throw the program out of whack. Okay? I don't know what they're coding in. Maybe they're coding in C++ or whatever, but you got to get developers or somebody that knows how to do the coding in it, because apparently if there's a glitch in the system, whoever is working on that, whatever tech team is working on it, they can't seem to finite that problem. And it's an existing problem. And the last time I talked to a customer representative, he said, well, you know, because it's going global, that's probably what's causing a lot of problems, because they're experiencing it in the UK, whatever, international problem. Get it fixed. Enough with the excuses already. Get it fixed. There are people out there that depend on you. If eBay is listening, get it fixed, because there's people out there that rely on your website to make a living, whether it be part-time, full-time, or hobby. People want to make money to pay their bills. Okay? Enough with the hogwash. Enough with the excuses. Get it fixed, please. That's all I'm asking for. I don't know if I could be a voice for everybody else, but get it fixed. Enough with this here. Every time you turn around, I read e-commerce bytes, it's always a different glitch. And then when you go to Down Detector, you hear something totally different. Please, you know, I'm appealing to eBay. Get it fixed for everybody, all right? We want to make money. That's plain and simple. If you can't provide that service, then you know what you should do, honestly. If you want to be a stand-up company, then you know what you should do? Waive the fees on the ongoing months that people ain't making money. Waive the fees. And people out there that do follow me on eBay, do follow me on this channel, if you feel that way, that it's an unjust, call up eBay and tell them, say, listen, I'm not making no money with you guys. I got no views. Can you do something with the fees? Can you waive the fees for the month of June? If it protracts into July, can you waive the fees for July? I don't know what kind of response you're going to get. They probably say, well, we can't do that, because technically you're still on the site. But if you're not making money and people can't see the items, what good is it? That's the point I'm getting across, folks. That's why it seems like I'm upset or frustrated. Yes, I am. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell it like it is. That's why I do the Reseller News. Okay? I throw stuff out there not to bash eBay, to make people aware of what's going on within eBay. It's not to hate. It's not to cause people to sit there saying, you know what? This guy brought good stuff out. I'm going to get off of eBay. I don't want nobody to get off of eBay or quit. That's not what I'm about. I'm not here to make a derogative statement about eBay or bash them. I like the selling platform, but get it fixed. That's all we're asking. When I go to these websites, these blog sites, and I read about these things, I feel so bad for the people, folks. I mean, if you read some of the blog sites, what people are experiencing on this website, it's terrible. I mean, the service is awful. It is beyond awful. And every now and then, when you make a sale, is that like a little thing they're like, let's turn the switch on, let's keep this person interested, so to speak? You get the drift? Let's click it on. Let's let this person make a few sales here and there. We don't want to lose them. Or we lose him or her. Let's turn it up a little. Click it on. Turn the light switch on. It's not fair, folks. It's not fair. And that's why, like I said, as time goes on, don't be surprised. You're going to hear news going on. Hopefully I can report it, or you might just, if you follow other websites, you might hear about it. eBay is going to start getting a dip in their business. They're going to get a decline. And the reason why, because there's going to be a lot of sellers out there that are going to be so frustrated that they're not making money. If eBay doesn't waive the insertion fees, the monthly fees, they're going to be losing. They're going to be very frustrated with that there, because I know I am. I know it bothers me, and I'm sure it bothers you guys. Anyway, guys, I don't want to go on to rant. I think I said what I had to say. Like, share, and leave a comment, and let me know what you think. If these videos help out in any way, folks, please subscribe to the channel. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the content. If you don't like it, I hope you don't give it a thumbs down, but maybe you could just tell me otherwise. Say, hey, you know, Rich, you mean well with your Reseller News. Maybe you might want to go over other topics. Maybe you might not want to do so much the reseller news. You might want to go to different things. You want to hear me talk about different things, I could try to point in that direction. But right now, I'm pointing in this direction with the reseller news because I sell exclusively on eBay. And that's why I said, even though it sounds like there's a love-hate relationship with eBay, I sell on exclusively. Seriously, I've been on eBay. You could look at my stats on eBay. I've been on eBay since July of 1999. If I hated eBay that much, to be honest with you, I would have canceled my account that a long time ago. I'm still hanging in there. Despite all the glitches going on, despite the slow sales, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in as long as I can. And when it gets to a breaking point, then one or two things will happen. I'll take all my stuff off of eBay, leave it an active account just in case it does get fixed and I want to throw it out there. Because to be honest with you, I really would hate to start all over again. Because once you close your account out, you're not going to just say, oh, by the way, let me reinstate it again and let me have all my feedback in. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's how it works. But what I might do out of the two things, like I said again, take all my listings off of eBay, go to a different site, upload it to a different site, and hopefully make money there. And then if eBay, by some chance, ever gets it fixed, then maybe I'll start throwing more stuff on there little by little and see what kind of bites I get. Because to be honest with you folks, not doing good. I'm not doing I'm not getting the sales and the results I want. And I don't know how you guys feel. If you want to share your comments, I really would appreciate it. Share it with the rest of us. Tell us what you think. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong at what I'm saying? Maybe I got my facts a little mixed up. I don't know. The information I pull off the websites is what I read. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm sharing with you guys. This is not stuff I'm making up. I mean, outside of talking now, on a one-on-one base. Well, one-on-one, no one's right here. It's on my webcam. But outside of expressing my own point of views, maybe I got my facts wrong with certain things. If I did, I apologize. I'm not trying to, make derogative statements about eBay. I'm not trying to bash them up or bash them down. Go on an eBay bash rant. But I'm just trying to say though, at some point in time, they really need to get this problem fixed. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm asking of eBay. Let things work out for us. Get the problem fixed, and let us be able to make some money to pay our bills. That's all I'm asking, eBay. I like you guys. You've been good in the past, I guess for some others. The only reason why I'm experiencing it now is because I've been doing it so far full time for a year and a half. I'm not a seasoned seller, like I always say, seasoned seller, meaning that I've been doing this here for 10, 15, 20 years, because I'm not. I've been on eBay since 1999, but on and off. It wasn't my back in the 90s, it wasn't my thing, and I wasn't even a thought of being on eBay, being a full-time seller, because I had a job. I was in IT. Stressful job. I had no time to sit here and come home from a stressful job and sit there and worry about what I'm going to sell on eBay. It wasn't even a thought. Especially I had 2 young kids to deal with, my kids, my wife, and the house and everything. I had no time for that. I had no time to worry about eBay. eBay wasn't even a thought. I wasn't about to let eBay interfere with my job. It's plain and simple. Anyway, folks, I'm going to sign off. It's Rjpasini for Reseller News. It's July 2nd, 2018. Please like, share, and comment. If you got anything out for this video, please subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. If you want to check out my listings to see what I have to offer, they'll be in the comments below. Thanks again, guys, for listening to me. Have a great day. Until next time.